Greetings. Happy Bank Holiday Monday. So it is the start of May, and here in the UK, traditionally, it is a bank holiday. So welcome back to Leading with Heart. It's the Summit Special. My name's Vanessa-Mary, and I'm the founder of the Seeds community. And this episode, and the episodes that I've been doing actually over the last few weeks, they've all been in the lead up to this year's Seeds of Unlimited Success. I will tell you more about it as we continue this conversation. Now, the theme for this year is Together We Rise, and it is certainly happening like that. Because if you know anything about Seeds of Unlimited Success, it's not just an event, it is an experience. And the woman that I will be speaking to today, she will actually tell you how being part of the event, attending, us getting to know each other, hopefully has enhanced her experience. I know it has, but she'll tell you more herself later. So in these conversations, I come together with leaders who are growing differently. We work in collaboration, we stay connected, and we are very conscious about our leadership. So these are very special episodes. So I'm speaking to those who have been on the stage, running masterclasses, giving those keynote talks, or they may be members of the community. And we're really experiencing and talking about what it means to lead with your heart in today's world. So we are talking about business, but we also talk about family, and we talk about our own life as well. So you will hear insights. We may share some behind the scenes moments. In fact, the woman that I'll be speaking to today, we will definitely share behind the scenes moments which are related to the event. And hopefully it will be a powerful conversation for you. So let me bring her on. Her name is Annette Griffin, and she is taking the stage this year as our event compere. Hi, Annette.
Hi, Vanessa-Mary.
Hi. So welcome back to Leading
Yeah.
with Heart. And I must say right off the back, the last time we had a chat, you were in a lot of pain, Annette. And
I
I even
was.
said to you, because I listened back to that conversation, I even said, do you still want to do it? And you said, no, I will. But I must say that you are absolutely shining and looking so beautiful and radiant today. So that pain has gone.
That page is definitely gone and it's not coming back.
Oh, bless you. So before we get into our conversation, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience today? Let everybody know who you are and what you do, please.
Yeah. Hi, so I'm Annette Griffin and I'm actually the founder of Annette Griffin Wealth, Differently Rich. Because it isn't always about money. Money does certainly help. But, who would love to buy some time back? Think, I did that. I wish I could have done that better. Or I wish I could have done this with them. And my sort of thing is about giving you the opportunity to be able to do that and to help, create the lifestyle that you want to lead. Because, for me included, for a long time, I've just been doing things, going along, doing the job, helping other people. And then I realized that actually I was helping everybody else achieve their dreams and goals, and I wasn't doing mine. I was never ever going to achieve my goals. So I've had a real look at, everything I do and just changing things around and making things, achievable. And that through all the experiences I've had, I can help other people do the same too. They can change themselves. Don't be sort of scared, oh, I can't do that, or I'm not as good as them, because actually you are. And I love empowering people to think, actually, yes, I can do this.
I love that, Annette. And obviously, we've known each other for a number of years now. And I know that what you've just said, it was beginning to concern you that you were putting so much energy into other people's projects, businesses, everything like that. But, this podcast is Leading with Heart, and you've got a really big heart. So, I'm not surprised to hear that you were just naturally drawn to giving and nurturing others. But as you said, it's about to pour back into yourself. And that before we go on, we do have a live audience. So thank you to everybody who's watching us live. I'm just going to put our first comment on from Sunny Buttercups. Oh, what a wonderful name.
It is.
Hi, Sunny. Thank you so much for tuning in. So for anybody else who is watching us live, please do leave us a comment as we go through. You may have a question. We're open to questions. I'm happy to share them on the screen. I love to see those comments. And if you're watching the replay later, then don't forget to leave us a comment so that we know that you were here. I do appreciate that not everybody can be on the live recording. So, Annette, you've been here before. As I've said, you are going to be the event compere this year. How does that feel? Like, what's going through your mind about that?
Do you know, it's so exciting. As you know me, I love talking and speaking, sometimes singing. And I'm really, really excited about it because I feel like I've grown with you, from the very beginning. And I've come along each year. And last time I brought my family as well with me. Yes, so took them on stage with me to speak. And it's like, I see how you've grown as well as me. And it's great about empowering people. And it's just such a fantastic day. You come away spiritually empowered, everything. You've got the biggest smile on your face. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. So just to set the scene for those who are not clear about what we're saying. So Seeds of Unlimited Success is an annual event that I co-created. And the first one was 2024. That's right, isn't it? Is it 20?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, 2024. So we're coming into year 3. And, I'm so grateful for wonderful women like Annette who said yes to me right from that very first invitation. She exhibited with me. Last year, she exhibited again and she was there with her family. So this year, when our event compere wasn't able to join us, it was like a no-brainer for me. It wasn't just somebody like yourself who's got the personality and who's able to hold the audience for the day, but also I wanted to give back and say thank you, Annette, for actually supporting me with this journey. So I really, really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
And last Friday, we had our little behind the scenes moment, getting ourselves together with that event script and everything. And we had tea. So we will talk about that a bit later. But before we do, let's go to the Seeds framework. Because as you know, I like to shape this conversation around the Seeds framework. So the first S is about strategy, support, network, and sales. So Annette, based on the work that you do you want to tell us a little bit more about your work and really give us an idea about how the strategy, because I've entitled this conversation Break Free from Pension Poverty with Annette Griffin, because I know that this is something that you are very passionate about, Annette. So do you want to tell us more, please?
Yeah, thanks, Vanessa-Mary. It is actually because, I became a single parent many years ago, actually through domestic violence. And, I've worked hard to pull myself up. I've, if I failed at something, I get up again. A bit like Richard Branson. How many things has he failed at to achieve the success that he's got? So I would pick myself up. And if I didn't like something, I'd change it. And I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, reflecting on it, because obviously I don't have a great pension, because if I didn't like it, I moved. But it's also made me the person that I am, and I've grown throughout it all now. And, I don't take any hassle off anybody. Those people always want to put you down. They don't put me down anymore. And I can say it in such a nice way, I don't want to upset anybody, but I'm also not going to be downtrodden anymore. So, actually through the Seeds of Unlimited Success, I met this lady, Ellery, who's going to be speaking at the event as well, also involved in it. And through going to her online meetings, I met my business coach, Donna Brewer. And, I actually really gelled with her. I thought she understands me and what I do, and because she'd already done some of it as well. So she became my coach. We laughed, we cried over, all sorts. And I honestly really realised, because I had been ill as well. And another thing that made me realise that actually without your health, you've got nothing. So health is really important. So I stress that to everybody. But throughout that, I realised I was never ever going to achieve my own goals if I was helping too many other people. So I've redefined it. And now I am passionate about, particularly all women, but particularly women where, they haven't got that great pension. They work hard but it never gets any better, or they don't feel seen or heard. So with mine, I offer women, I do talk to men as well, obviously, but I'm a woman, so I know how a woman ticks and feels. I've had a child, I've now got grandchildren. But yeah, so how you can develop yourself, offering them different passive income streams, which means getting paid over and over again for work you've done just once. And that is the fantastic, because that gives you choices and changes in life. And it might be just you want a little change, or it might be you want a bigger change. It can be whatever you want it to be. Even how to set up a business. There are lots of women that, actually maybe don't know how to. I've learned through the years. So, I'm offering sort of coaching sessions to, to show them how you can grow and develop all the basic simple things that we all learn in as, being in business, but you don't necessarily know when you start off. And also to give them that confidence to think, actually, he starts off as a little seed. I think I can do this too. Yes, I can do this, and yes, I can. So
Oh,
that's what I do. I do a few different things, but I give women choices and freedom and lifestyle.
so it's around passive income, how to
Yes.
break free from the pension poverty by literally tapping into passive income opportunities. I love it, Annette. And I want to go back to something that you said there. So that's the strategy.
Yeah.
But talking about the support network, thank you for acknowledging the event where you met Aleri last year, because Donna Brewer wasn't actually in the room. And what I want to say to people about networking is you network through the room. So if you ever go to an event and you might have a particular ideal client in mind, or you may be looking for a particular supplier, do not ever get worried or disheartened if that particular individual or someone representing that industry isn't in the room. Because what we're doing when we're networking is we are networking through the room. So what Annette has described is a brilliant example. And I've honestly, Annette, I've been so happy to see you soaring and flourishing over the last year, because everyone can see the change. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very important that Annette has said there, actually, I met somebody that I connected with. And, it's not just about the coaching, but all the other things that we do together as well. So when you're thinking about networking, like I've just said, don't be disheartened if that individual, or maybe you're looking for an ideal client, a personality type, or a particular industry, if they're not in the room, don't worry. Talk to everybody, as many people as you can, because by making those connections and following up, that's where you are most likely to meet someone who can actually bring you again closer to what you were looking for. So thank you for that, Annette. So I feel like we've covered support network, and I just really want to talk about the seeds of unlimited success again, because this is more than just an event. We are building a community. Okay, so there's a membership that sits behind this. And within the membership, it's a hybrid experience, to be fair. And that when I looked at a photograph and I thought, oh, a lot of the people are from the East Midlands, they're actually not. The Seeds of Unlimited Success community, or the Seeds community, as we're known, is actually much bigger than like us in the East Midlands.
Wow.
And I'm gonna go back to Aleri. So thank you for mentioning Aleri and Silvertree, because Aleri is sponsoring me again this year. And you know, when somebody says yes to you twice, I think they can see something, even if you may not even be able to see it yourself. So thank you so much to Aleri from Silvertree Network, who is actually coming on as the community growth partner, because it's an example like what Annette's just said, making those connections between communities. Larry and myself in our communities are very much complementary, and also I'm very much part of other networks, as you know, Annette, where it's very much complementary, because what we're doing within the Seeds community, my focus is on well-being and enterprise. Okay. And I do things differently as well. And I just love the way how everyone's coming together. So finding the right support network is very important. So now let's talk about, I've got here sales. What can we say in terms of passive income then? Because I've been involved in passive income opportunities. And one thing that I personally know is you definitely don't get your sales straight away. I know with some opportunities it is different. But for anybody, we're not talking about any particular companies.
Yeah.
I know that you've been involved in the passive income sort of industry for a long time now, and you go to different conferences as well. So what advice would you give to anybody who's looking at a passive income opportunity, please?
So really, it's like, again, like you said earlier, just then, it takes time. Don't expect things to happen straight away. It's about building up those relationships and those connections and working at it. But to succeed in everything, you need to be consistent, just doing a little bit each day. Yeah, you can do as much or as little as you want, but if you just be consistent and do a little bit each day, in time, 3 to 5 years time, you are going to be in a much better position. You're going to wake up every month before you get out of bed thinking, oh, I've got this money in my bank account, and that's all it might be. That's my bills paid. Thank you for that, Retro King.
I love coming through for Annette. Wow. 305 Retro King. And that has a beautiful smile. Well, if you want to meet her, she's going to be, well, she lives near Nottingham, but she's going to be in Nottingham on Saturday, the 23rd of May, right at the front of the stage. You can look at her all day. Look at that beautiful smile.
You might not think it's a beautiful smile at the end. You might think, get her off the stage.
But thank you so much, Retro King. That's lovely. Look at the love hearts in that. Wow.
I know.
We get love hearts on this program. But yeah, going back to what we're saying, I actually do agree with you in that, because what people do, whether it is network marketing opportunities or even setting up your business, I do think people kind of like set up and they think they're going to get a sale straight away, or they may be established in their business but not very good at networking, and they turn up to events and think that they're going to get a sale straight away. Like, no, it definitely doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. And it's like, people just expect sales there and then. That might have been how it was years ago, but it's not how it is now. You've got to have the ethos that it's what's in it for them, not what's in it for you. So if you're always doing the best for other people, then they're going to reciprocate that. But that feeling, occasionally you might get one that's, oh, wow, straight away like that. And that is great, but that is not every day. It is about community, building up those relationships, working hard consistently at it. And then it does change things and those sales start to happen. But it's about that know, trust and like. You've got to build that up first. You can't just go in for the kill. I want this, because they're going to look at you. Well, she's trying to put a hand on my back and force me into a sale. I had somebody do that to me recently on just a course, and the hard sell, it just made me feel totally sick and backing off. I like giving people choices. I would never ever do a hard sell on anybody, and I just think anybody that does that, I wouldn't want to do business with them. It's about being genuine and really wanting to help people. and showing that they can. So my sales have grown through that organically, and that's how I've always looked at things.
No, I agree with you. Nobody likes to feel sold to. So no, this is brilliant. So now let's talk about the first E. And today, Annette, we are going to talk about enterprise growth. So leading on from that sales conversation, I know that for yourself, you've not necessarily pivoted, but you've actually your messaging has been, look, I'm looking for women over 50. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's part of your enterprise growth. For me, is also being clear about who you are seeking to serve.
Yeah.
So did you want to talk to us a little bit about what enterprise growth means for
Yeah.
you?
For me, it was finding my ideal client. So again, with my coach, so that we define down, because in one of the things I do, there's thousands of us. And how did I always stood out by singing or doing silly things to make myself stand out from everybody else. But I also looked at actually defining my niche market. And actually,
Mhm.
my background for years was hairdressing, lecturing, assessing. So I know all their pain points because I did it, So I thought, okay, I'll start with those first. And then I decided, because I was a woman of 50 plus, let's start with that area, because I know how you feel. I've been there. I don't have a great pension. So this is why I'm working to change it. And this is why I feel it's really important to not just go after anyone or anybody. You want to define your market, and then your everything can go in towards that. And it doesn't mean to say that you won't get other people or men or anything like that. I still do. I've had 3 men contact me recently wanting to join my part of my team. And I think, and I'm advertising for women. And actually, when I put posts up, the first one to put a comment is a man.
Oh, you get love hearts when you come on other people's podcasts. I've never had love hearts on my own podcast, by the way. So if anybody wanted to give me any,
give her a love heart. She'll appreciate it. She works really hard. But no, it's just, honestly, for me, it's so important to define what you're looking for and how you can help them. So again, I do courses in that, defining how to find your ideal niche market, and then what you're going to say, what's going to fit in with what they want. Because again, it's no use going on, what's in it for me. You've got to find what their pain points are and what their needs are. And if you talk to them in that way, then they're more likely to relate to you, and you're going to get business and sales from that.
I totally agree with you in that, because similar to yourself, I started off focusing on women, but when I had my youngest son 7 years ago, I actually still was focused on women, but then it was more towards women that were like me, so entrepreneurial women. But walking around with a little baby, it was like, okay, things have changed a little bit now. So then you're right. I always had men interested in joining, because I was doing a lot of fit camps in the community and exercise in the community. I always had men interested and also interested in the products. But I decided my message should be about family. So when I actually niched down and started speaking to self-employed mums and dads and those who work together as a family business, which could be anything. It could be two sisters, it could be brothers, cousins, mum and daughter, whatever that mix is, I have found that I'm hitting that spot. And of course, Annette, I do have people who are single, who are in the community, but the services that they provide are very much for the family market. So it goes both ways.
It
So
does.
you're right. You do need to.
If you actually choose something that's like you did, you became a young mum again, didn't you? Like that.
Oh, young mum, she said.
Yeah. Right, we're not old like that. But so you sort of went towards that market again. So if you use something that's within your experience, you have a much better chance, because you can talk from a point of knowledge, because you know how they feel and everything like that. So it's always pick something that actually is part of you that you can grow with that.
I totally agree with you, Annette, because when I speak to self-employed mums, okay, so we'll talk about Friday. You and I knew that we needed to get together face to face. We do see each other at networking events, but we needed time to sit down and run through the agenda for the event. And you were very much like, oh, we could meet up. And I was like, yes, but Annette, I'm going to have my little ones enter. And you were like, oh, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, but the thing is, Annette, my little one, he's got additional needs. So it's not just as easy to say we're going to turn up at a meeting and he's going to sit there quietly. And you were like, don't worry about it. We'll sort this out. And, you kindly, I don't know how it happened, but your friend Claire, a wonderful woman, she was there with her little boy. So the two boys were playing together. And Claire, I love that she was so lovely, the way how she just allowed us to have our conversation, and she was sitting there watching the boys. And then Claire and yourself and myself, we all had our tea together afterwards. But again, and I just thought, yeah, this is why I niche to families, because I really needed that understanding that yes, I am a businesswoman, but I cannot always show up in that kind of corporate, in fact, Zenta's not going to burst through the door hopefully today, because him and his dad have gone for a walk. But there will be times when my family life does literally overlap with my business life. So my message now, speaking to families, it kind of takes that kind of like pressure off me, and I can show up as my authentic self. If I do need to, pause and say to people, I'm sorry, I need to pause this conversation because my son needs me, whatever. Hopefully there's no judgment. I don't think there is, people that I speak with.
I think it's just about admitting that actually we're all normal. We've all got other lives. It's not just about work and business all the time. And actually, it's just natural that sometimes things don't go 100% to plan, or, you get interrupted. That is just life. So, people that say that they can, they only do this and that and only do that in that slot. Well, they're not living a normal life, are they?
No, I do agree with you. And I do normally say in my introduction here that it's not about showing up and trying to be perfect. Hopefully these conversations will support others who maybe are feeling like they can't get started with their business journey because things aren't perfect. Would you know what, Annette? If I felt like that, I would not have made a start. My business is growing. I'm still in my bedroom doing these recordings, but I don't care, because you know what? I like to look back and think about my progress, and we should always celebrate the small wins. So do not ever think, if you're thinking, oh, I want to set up in business, but this isn't right, or no, please listen to us as women who've had families, and Annette's still fostering as well, so she's still got caring responsibilities. That we make it work. And going back to the S for support network, when you are surrounded by those who are on a similar journey to yourself, you will find that you are attracting people who are willing to support and encourage you along your journey as well. So I don't know if you wanted to add to that, Annette.
It is. But the support network is so important, and like-minded people, because again, it's about mixing with the right sort of people. If you mix with somebody that is always pulling you down, saying, no, that's rubbish, you are going to feel like that. So your support network, really, the 5 people that you would want closest to you are the 5 people that, support you or you aspire to be. Don't look down, don't go down, move upwards. So your 5 closest people need to be the people you want to be with, and you're over the years, actually, my sort of friends and support network, it has changed slightly. Not that I don't see them still or anything like that, but people that sort of, in a way, poo-pooed what I did, what I do like that. And I've sort of moved away. I think, okay, that's fine. That's your choice. I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing this. So I've moved towards the people that do appreciate what we do, and we support each other, and we're growing. So, don't be surprised if your close circle of friends, support friends, does change over time.
I agree with that. And still touching on that enterprise growth, personally, as much as I love being part of a support network, and obviously the Seeds community brings people together, I also do spend a lot of time in solitude and actually using that time, not just because for me, enterprise growth is about the work that I do for myself, not always about the work that I'm actually doing in my business. So I do actually a lot of what I call soul alignment work, which helps with my mindset, which helps with my emotional well-being. All of that is really important to me, and I do that in solitude. So just to add, that yes, the support network is fantastic, but when you want to grow your enterprise, you do need to be prepared to go deeper as a leader and make sure that you are actually spending that time with self and nurturing yourself as well.
And personal development is very important.
Yeah.
If you can read 10 pages a day of a personal development book, so that's not somebody's autobiography or the latest thing or anything like that, real personal development, it helps you to see that bigger picture. So, when you have those down days and you think, oh, I can't be bothered today, you think read 10 minutes, read 10 pages, and it just uplifts you again. This is why I'm doing this. You get good and bad days and everything, but this is why I'm doing this. So it's really important to develop yourself.
Well, a brilliant way for us to go to the next E, which is actually energy alignment. So energy alignment, let's go deeper on that conversation of self-development. And you spoke about reading. I mean, the book is actually down there. I'm not going to get up, but I do a reading group on a Sunday. So we're literally nearly finishing Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's such a brilliant book. So again, I found a way of having a support network, but making sure that we're working on our mind, and in that context, our spiritual development. And wonderful things are happening. And then the group has gone very quiet actually, but I did set up another group on a Monday where we were reading Think and Grow Rich, which is such a powerful book. And I can't remember how many times I've read it now and that, but it's definitely been more than 3. So again, if you maybe struggle to kind of get into personal development and things like that, then find yourself a group or form a little group with your friends of people that you can say, oh, should we start reading this book together? Just commit to showing up on a particular day, particular time. And for us, we read the different passages together. So
that's good. I mean, one of mine is I'm talking about it this week, aren't I? The 4 colour personalities. At a networking event we both go to. And again, it's like when you're talking to people about anything, but let's relate it to business, but it is about anything, talk to them in the same language that, they would understand. For instance, somebody, Vanessa-Mary, I would describe her as a yellow personality. She's kind, she's caring and everything. She wants to do everything for you. So if I said to Vanessa-Mary, oh, Vanessa-Mary, I need some help with this. Would you help me? What do you think she's going to say? She knows me. She loves me anyway, but she would say yes. Whereas if I said that to somebody who is really, really money orientated, and they're thinking, oh, that's taking up my time, I can't do that. But, to somebody who is sort of what we call a red person, is very money orientated, and then you'd say to them that, oh, I've got this nice big thing that's going to earn loads of money. Do you want to, can I tell you about it? And so it's talking to people in different ways. Now, I'm just going to have to move into my kitchen.
Yes.
So that happens. My battery is low.
Don't worry. I will take you off screen while you do that, darling. So I'll carry on. So what an interesting conversation I'm having today with Annette Griffin from Annette Griffin Wealth. And Annette has been supporting the event that I've been hosting for the last 3 years or 2 years. So we're in our 3rd year now, which is Seeds of Unlimited Success. And this year, she's kindly stepped up to be the event compere. So we're having our conversation. She's just moved into another room because she had to charge her battery. So Annette, she looks like she's getting ready. We're talking about energy alignment. If you are watching us live and you want to leave a comment about any of the things that we've already discussed, or you want to tell us about what you do, if you're in business, let us know your business. I will put your business on the screen here. So that's some promotion for you. And if you are thinking about business and you're thinking, oh, I don't really know where to start, you are speaking to 2 women who are experienced in business, personal development. Here she is. Thank you, Annette. Personal development and everything like that. And we are talking about energy alignment. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a wellbeing healer. So I've been working in the wellbeing space now for over 13 years. And, I've done a lot of study. I've done a lot of healing on myself. And it's so important. And one of the things that I said to Annette right at the beginning of this conversation is thanking her for showing up last year when she didn't feel very well. Other people who just said, no, I'm not doing it. I don't feel very well. But Annette is not that type of woman. She's very determined. So she showed up. But what I can see, and I've noticed over the last year or so, is how she is looking so much better. She doesn't talk about the pain that she was feeling. That is part of your energy alignment, Annette. Do you want to expand on that at all?
Yeah, as you know, I it was years of hairdressing actually. My sort of knee just gave way on me, and I was in so much pain. I had to walk with a walking stick, and then because I used the walking stick, that put my back out, and I could not walk on my own front street, just over a year ago, and because I foster, I see a social worker, and I remember her saying to me, "Oh, Annette, why don't you claim PIP?" And I went, "No, this is just temporary. I work. I am not staying like this." And it actually, just over a year ago, I went to an event and I had to have a wheelchair because I knew I couldn't walk. And that was, embarrassing like that. But I did it because I wanted to go to that event. I thought, I'm not letting it stop me. And I took a picture on purpose and I ingrained it in there. And I just thought, I am not staying there. I am getting myself well. And I have. So, for me, that health thing comes so high up that you've got to. But it's about mindset. If you believe you can't do things, then you'll never do things. You've got to have belief that you can do things, and I can't stress how important that is to have belief in yourself and believe in the things that you can do.
I totally agree with you in that. So speaking about my dear mum, who may be watching me live, actually, because I managed to send her the live. With my mum, she is not moving as much as I would like to see her moving. So even yesterday we were having a chat and I was saying, Mum, when the carers come round, just ask them to help you to do a gentle walk up the street. We do need to prioritize our health. The reason why I feel that the Seeds community has come about like this, and that, like I said, I've been working in the wellbeing space for over 13 years, but it seemed to be my message to business owners that it just wasn't getting through. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, your health is your wealth.
It is.
Like, what is the point in trying to build a big business if, no disrespect to anybody who's feeling like this, but actually you're going to be at the verge of having a heart attack? What is that money and that lifestyle going to mean to you if you don't have the health to enjoy it? Exactly. So I just feel that going within and really thinking, like, how can I be of service to these men and these women that I'm seeing? I love them dearly, but for some of them, you need help. I'm not being You
Yeah.
know, so really the way how I've approached it is by combining this conversation about well-being into the business community. So my little saying is the seeds community is where well-being meets business. And like I said, I do things differently around here, and I love the impact and I love the stories that are coming through, because no matter what you're doing, please put your health right at the top of that to-do list. Okay, your well-being should be at the top of the to-do list before you get to your emails, before you get to the meeting or whatever you've got planned for yourself. So I know Annette would agree with me on that one.
Totally. I mean, my mum, she's not been overly well, and she has a partner, and he does everything for her, and that annoys me because I go to mum, use it or lose it. Don't let him do everything for you. I said, look at me. I couldn't walk on my own front street, but I'm walking and everything now. It's just going upstairs that gives me issues still. I've got osteoarthritis like that, but you know, it's that just do little things at a step to get yourself better. You know, don't.
Totally agree with you, because my hip, honestly, the walk today and my hip, and I was like, oh my, but I thought just keep going, Vanessa, because if I don't, with the osteoarthritis as well in my hip, I'm like, I'm going to seize up. And that now I am 50. I was 50 in March. So in that respect, honestly, it doesn't matter what age you are, you know, keep yourself active. Think about your well-being. Please make it a priority.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the D now. So we are talking about direction. But actually, I always write it the wrong way around. It should be decisions which give you the direction. We're talking about decisions which are going to give you direction. And I think we've touched on it a little bit in terms of that health conversation. Making different decisions is going to give you a different outcome with your well-being. And I love the fact, Annette, that, you know, even you're reminding people. No, last year I was coming to these networking events with a stick. I don't have a stick now. I'm here and I'm getting better. I feel healthier and I'm going to keep going. So you can have a talk about this from a health perspective, life perspective, business perspective. But what does decision making mean to you, Annette?
For me, obviously, health has played a big part in it for me. That, but decision making was, you know, actually realizing that I wasn't going to achieve my own goals. It's all right putting on a happy smiley face all the time, but if you're not going to, you know, you're not going to achieve everything. It's like it's a circle of life. If you draw a circle of life, and I did this recently. So
Yeah,
this
can
is
see it.
right, yeah.
Yes.
So it's got health and fitness, you know, career and work, relationships and social life, personal growth and learning, financial stability, leisure and recreation, spirituality and faith, environment and home. So all those things play a part in being the whole you.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach sort of little classes on this, that actually when I first drew this, my circle looked like an amoeba, right? And I cried. And I went, I love that. But actually that was really good because I thought, right, okay, I need to change this. I really seriously need to change that, because ideally, you know, we should be a circle, you know, giving back, helping, making sure our own thing is right. Everything goes into play of it. And I did it, you know, a couple of weeks ago again. And actually, it's sort of, you know, it's more almost a circle, but there's just a couple of areas that I need to work on. So I know that for me, that's the area where I need to work. So I put a lot on that, and about sort of having goals and dreams in life, because there are too many people that are dream stealers, right? So, you know, give yourself 2 minutes to just write down all the dreams, big ones, little ones. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be about work. It can be about, you know, your life and everything. And actually, the first time you do it, you won't put many down. But each time you do it, you start thinking, oh, yeah, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that. And then keep that list, watch how it changes and tick it off when you've done it. And you get so much from that. You're thinking, oh my God, I said I was going to do this. And I have.
No, I agree with you. And, I love what you said, because self-reflection for me is the first step. If you want to make a change, if you want to be have a different direction in your life, then self-reflection and acceptance of where you actually are. And like you said, sometimes it's upsetting.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, I had to make it, I said to my mum about this conversation about movement. I was like, look, I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me as well. So what happened was, when I was not at my mum's house, but when I came back and I continued to do some work, I put my salsa music on. I put the laptop up high so that I was like having a standing desk. And I was doing my little dance as I was doing my typing, because I'm thinking, wait a minute, I used to do salsa, I used to do kickboxing, I was running fit camps, so active. And over time, and it doesn't take long. You talk about being consistent, doing little things every day. Well, you stop doing those little things every day and you have a look at the result as well. So for me, it's managing my hip pain, because I don't want to call it in on myself, but an operation in the future, let's push that into the future. Right now, I've got to manage the pain. Well, and I know the more active I am, whether it's my dancing, walking, whatever, I am not in as much pain. But yeah, carry on, Annette.
I was going to say, actually, one of my things is because I love dancing too. And I've been in the Strictly Come Dancing for charity. Absolutely loved it. I had choreography and everything. One of my things is to dance the Argentinian tango. So that's one of my goals, like that. But because I've become, less mobile and things like that, and it is really important to me to get that back fully. Whereas, at another networking the other week, we were playing football.
I saw it. I actually saw it. I did it last night. Yeah. Tell us about that. That sounded brilliant.
Yeah. So it's a women's 50+ circle that Donna, my business coach, actually set up. And she was like, she'd gone to a lot of the time just doing things online. She said, I want to do this. And I got her to come out and meet me for a drink. We had a lovely evening. And I said, why don't you just do it? Oh, I don't know. I said, look, it's on your goals to do it. Do it. And she went, oh, I said, why are you waiting a few months? Start it now. And that has grown from, little things like that. And it's not a traditional networking, it's about empowering you and giving each other strategies and things like that. And we had somebody come and she helps Bengali women and like that. And about playing football to keep you active. So she got us all out on the field kicking a football. And I just thought, how fun was that? And then the other day, I listened to something, because my knees are the things that play me up. And it was like, this one of these on YouTube or whatever, like that, jumped 10 times twice a day. And before, I would have said, no, I can't jump anymore. But do you know what? I jumped 10 times. So I can actually do it.
I can do it. You made the decision. Well, you made the decision to try. And, I love the fact that we've spoken so much about the fitness element and the well-being, because for me, when I was running my fit camps, they were the happiest days, honestly. And I got my body into the best shape of its life. So I was in my 30s when I started running the fit camps. And I was one of the oldest attending the kickboxing session at the time. Well, it turned out that I became that healthy that I conceived at 43. So,
I don't know that.
Advocating this. But what I'm basically saying is, don't think, oh, I'm this particular age, I can't do it anymore. I agree with you. And Jim Rowan talks about that actually in one of his seminars, when he speaks about, you thought you could only do 5 push-ups, but then before you know it, you've done 10, and you're thinking, I thought I could only do 5. So just give it a go. I love this.
Yeah.
So let's now, because you are focused on pension poverty, we're going to round up our conversation by talking about succession planning. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning, thinking about passive wealth and a passive income. Is there anything that you can talk to us about how a passive income can help us for the future and supporting our future life goals, particularly when it comes to the children and family, please?
Yeah, it is actually, because you know, both the things that I'm involved in, they're also willable assets. So you can pass that down to your children and your grandchildren. One is actually to do with health and wellness. It's not just that. One is to do with more saving you essential money. And again, both of them, you can make money from that. And also during lockdown, I did financial education. So again, even just paying a little bit extra off your mortgage a month can reduce that there. So it can take years off it. There's lots of changes that I can show you. I do sort of audit strategies to see, what you're paying out, what I can save you on that. But then also, what if you'd like to earn some extra money above and beyond what you're doing, that eventually gets you to be able to, cut down on your hours like that, work less days. So you've got more family time, more me time, more holidays for me. I love my holidays. I'm going to Naples next week.
I know you are.
Can't wait, so excited. And but then that's through working hard. That's a holiday I've achieved, spending money. For me and a friend, got my spending money yesterday as well. And it's just lovely to be a luxury holiday. But it's not just about that. It is about building up an income for yourself. And one, you can have an upfront income now, again, that is going to help. And then you get passive income further down that royalty style income, getting paid over and over again. The other one is like a little bit of income up front. But again, that passive income that, again, in just a couple of years' time, if you think 2 to 5 years like that, you could be in a much better position. And then you're building a willable asset for your children and your grandchildren and so on in perpetuity. And this other one, again, is another thing. It deals with health and wellness. So all of these, really, really, I have an affinity too, because it's things that I align with. And if I can show a few other people how they can make a few changes in their life that doesn't take up all the time like that, and show that they can have the changes. And that, again, your dream goal, your dream board, do that. I have that on I've got to update mine actually this year. It does need updating, but I have a dream board each year.
I'm looking at mine.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking at mine there. This is where I normally sit. So it's great because, when you do have those odd days where you are down, and we all get them, like that, you can look at that and think, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm working a bit harder to achieve those things, so I can, show people that they can change their lives.
Fantastic. Wow, you've shared so much with us today, Annette. I really do appreciate your time and energy. And, having you at the front of the stage in a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh, Saturday the 23rd of May, we are actually coming closer to the countdown.
We are.
I know that your energy, your enthusiasm, it will uplift people because, if you are planning to be at that event, it's not actually, yes, everything that will happen inside the room will be fantastic. Don't get me wrong. The speeches that you're going to hear, the talks, Annette's giving a talk. I'm going to be unraveling and unveiling lots of new things. In fact, on Annette's script, she's going to say there's lots of firsts that you're going to hear about, So there's some exciting announcements that I'll be making inside the room. But essentially, it's about what we do outside the room as well, Annette. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely. I always say the fortune is in the follow-up. Yes. Yeah. And it's not the people necessarily that you meet in the room. It's all the people that they know.
Exactly.
So
but you have to be in the room to get to know people. You
don't
know what you
do. Yeah. and I may even sing a little tiny bit.
Oh, we keep going on about this. Don't worry, it's just a little joke between me and Annette.
I'm going to sing. She went, really? But I said, yeah, you know me. You want an entertainer? I'm going to entertain.
But you know what, though, Annette? let's be honest, it has made you stand out
It
for all
has.
the
Yeah.
years that I've known
Yeah.
you networking.
And I
You do
can't sing, by the way. Whoever's listening, I can't really sing. So I do stand out.
but
You
she
know what?
doesn't
I
take
don't
herself.
care.
But exactly, it's not about taking herself so seriously. She's
No.
coming out of her comfort zone and she's saying, I am here, this is me. And at the end of the day, you know, I think it is a brilliant part of your personality, and that I really do. As much as I tease you, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
But
Remember your first one, Season of Unlimited Success, and
yeah,
Caroline Jane Andrews that was there, and
yeah,
she got everybody to do their 60 seconds. And
yeah.
I just came out with my little sing that thing, saying, and she went, you don't need any extra confidence.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's about being remembered when you're in that type of
It is.
environment as well, because there's a lot to do, there's a lot to see, many hands, lots of selfies. So no, Annette, I am looking forward to it. So you're going to tell me your walk on music, what you want playing. But thank you so much.
That.
Yeah, but thank you so much for supporting me on this journey. It's been absolutely incredible. And yeah, so I'm going to see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I love that talk that you've got about the color personalities. I have got the book myself downstairs, but if anybody's not familiar with that, and that if you can, I can do it, can't I? Because I've got the book. I'll leave the title of the book on this link here so people can have a look at it, because that's part of your self-development, as what we've spoken about. And also I'm going to leave the link for the event. So it's happening in Nottingham, Saturday the 23rd of May. We'd love to have you there. And if you do have a family, please bring them with you. I mean, you know, and you were there with your granddaughter. My granddaughters are going to be there this year. I've had my son, you know, please. We've got Kate bringing her daughter back for the 3rd year. And that, to me, is going to be the power of the event, when the youngsters continue to be in that room and get that energy and that vibe, you know, from adults, and we can actually see how they will use that information. So if you do have a family, families are very welcome. I purposely organize the event on a Saturday so that the next generation can be in the room. So Annette, in closing, is there anything that you want to say to the audience?
All I'd say is, you know, have a look at yourself today. Write down, you know, what you've achieved, what you'd like to achieve. You know, is there any areas that you can improve in your life? And then come and talk to us. We're happy to have a free, no obligation chat with you, just to give you some direction. And we would love to see you on the 23rd of May at the Seeds of Unlimited Success.
Definitely. And Annette, I will leave your link for your website underneath this you know, where we're recording from.
And I'll give you a link from that. I do a free 30-minute discovery chat. So if anybody does want to chat with me, I'll give you that too as well, Vanessa-Mary.
Yeah, brilliant. And we'll post it. All right then, everyone. Well, we've had people viewing us live. Thank you so much for staying with us on this conversation. We hope that it's had added value to your day, and you know, take what has been useful for you. In any other bits, just leave it behind. It doesn't matter. But thank you so much. I will actually be back tomorrow. I'm doing another live conversation at 12:30. So that's Tuesday, the 5th of May, with the amazing Zoe Wadsworth, an absolute powerhouse woman. And we'll be talking about marketing and why you need to focus on marketing in your business. So if you're looking for some marketing tips, then don't miss that conversation. But for now, we're going to sign out. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.